What's up, boys? How we doing? Listen, the camera angle's shot. Okay, I'm driving to Seattle right now. Okay, so I'm in a rental car. Okay, but it has self-driving, so it's fucking beast. Look at the fucking wheel. Look at it. Anyways, so what a day in the market. So I've been a little MIA the past week. I'm with the girlfriend with her parents in Washington, and I'm driving up to Seattle for work. It's a 2-hour drive, so I figured I'd pop on, give a quick update for 20-30 minutes. I don't know how the audio is going to be because I'm going 80 miles an hour, and the road noise might be pretty bad. But fuck it. It's all good. This is a personal journal for my future self. So I'm going to just kind of run through my portfolio, run through where I'm at with like the market, everything going on, and all the stuff like that. So, and then SpaceX IPO and all that. So like, top-down position size, right? AMD, of course. So today's Monday. The stock went down to like 485, and that's back up to 515 now. I don't know what the fuck is going on. They're trying to send AMD down. They're really trying to. But it's fighting. It doesn't want to go down. It's really fighting. I don't know. So like there's a couple reasons, right? Like there could be some manipulation. Wall Street could be trying to get in cheaper, but also what I think is probably happening is we've gone on a crazy run, and I think we're just going to get some short-term volatility in the stock where the stock goes up and down, 5-10% here and there. It goes in the same day, so it seems like it didn't move at all. It goes down 10, but then it closes the day down 2, so it goes plus, the delta for the day is like 10%. Like, so intraday volatility is going to be really high. I mean, dude, if I thought AMD couldn't go to 750, I'd start selling calls, 750 calls. I don't really know, bro. This stock's crazy. When it went to 350, I thought, no way, it goes to 400 in a week, and it goes to 400 in a week. Like, the stock just moves right now, and I don't want to step in its way. I don't want to get in its way, man. I lost a lot of money selling insurance on my AMD shares. And by a lot of money, I mean like 6-7 grand. So, I mean, I lost 11 grand, but then I made like 4 back. So I'm net like 6G negative on the stock in terms of insurance. But so instead of selling my shares, I bought some insurance. So it hedged myself just in case AMD kept running. I didn't have to like lose my shares. So that's what I did. And, looking back on it, I'm very happy I did it because now I have all my shares still. It is what it is. I was wrong. I mean, I didn't think AMD was going to just keep going. I thought at like 450, I thought we were going to get to like 450, 475, 500, like we're going to top out, but we didn't top out. We're still here. And I was wrong. I thought for sure we were going to be like, this is it. Like, this is the run, this is the bull cycle, and then the semis were going to crash. And maybe it still is going to happen, but judging by the strength AMD has and how it's sitting at this price for so long, like, it's not like it popped up and it's getting shorted. Like, it's literally sat here. It's been like a month. This shit is short. Like, this shit is, it's not going anywhere, I think, bro. I think AMD's here to stay. I think it's going to be, I mean, dude, I think it might be one of the top companies in the world. I think it'll be top 5. Call me crazy, but, like, I don't know. The only thing that scares me about AMD, the only thing that scares me is they really don't make their own chips, right? So, like, whenever you buy a company, I hate to go, like, cringe back into marketing, like college 101, but, like, SWOT analysis is so valid. Like, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. On any business you're going to buy, what's their strengths, what's their weaknesses, what's the opportunities, and what's the threats, right? So, like, for AMD, right, the strength is it has the best fucking server CPU on the market and gaming. It's got the second best AI GPU on the market, but it's way cheaper, and it's way better for inference. So it actually is becoming better than NVIDIA's chips as we speak. As I said 2 years ago, AMD has an edge in inference, but not in training. But training is becoming a thing of the past. Inference is becoming the big thing now because of agentic AI. Okay, that's a strength. The other strength is they don't make their own CPUs. So in a way, that is a strength because they don't have any of the overhead. They literally send a PDF to TSM, and then TSM makes all the shit, and then AMD gets all the money. So obviously AMD pays TSM for the capacity, and they pay TSM for the chips, but then AMD marks up the service because their chip that they send, that PDF file that they send to TSMC, is where the money is because they have all these engineers that develop the chips, and they make sure that TSM makes them right. And TSM is unique because they don't make their own chips. that's one of the problems with Intel. TSM doesn't have skin in the game, which is one of the reasons why I like TSM more than Intel, because Intel, they compete with their own customers, right? So like Intel makes gaming CPUs. So why would AMD ever go to Intel to make their gaming CPUs? Like, couldn't Intel just copy what AMD's doing and learn from their PDF files? You know, there might be documents that say that they can't learn from them, but like, bro, we all know that they can probably steal that shit, you know? So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not worried about AMD in the short term. I mean, I think AMD again is going to be a $2,500 stock in the next 5 years. So if I think that, why would I sell a single share? Why would I sell calls on my shares, right? I think I learned my lesson, so it's okay. Sometimes you gotta learn your lesson the hard way, but it's all good. I'm still learning, even, you know, all my years of experience. I mean, I've never had this size, like this percent. I don't know how to say. I mean, I've had a higher percentage in my portfolio. I've had similar size, but I've never had this size and sell calls. So the premiums look really juicy to me, so I got really excited, and I thought, oh wow, I can collect $7,000, and if AMD doesn't go up, you know, 35% in the next 14 days, I keep $7,000. Like, that sounds insane. You know, that's insane. But then AMD ends up going up, you know, 75% in a month, and it's like, okay, well, that's why the option premium was so high. So, you know, moral of the story is I'm not selling calls on stocks I don't want to sell at that price. You know, I kind of lied to myself when AMD was at like 275, 325, like, oh, I'd sell some at 400, and you guys in the Discord might have noticed that. I was kind of lying to myself a little bit. Like, I'm not going to sell any shares at 400. And I you know, and I don't know why I thought that back when AMD was under 400. There's no universe I sell any shares at 750 either. Like, because think about it, if AMD goes to 750, like, obviously there's been another catalyst, like, you know what I mean? There's something going on. And the main reason I sell a stock is I sell when everyone else knows the same stuff I do. And I just don't know if people know that yet. Even though AMD's been on such a run, like, I've been buying the stock. I've been beating the table when it was $80, $75. You know, back in the tariff scare, I've been beating the table. And the reason I'm beating the table was, one, they don't have to beat NVIDIA to have their stock perform better. And also, they don't have to beat NVIDIA to even become more valuable than NVIDIA. Crazy to say, but... And the reason I'm saying this is because AMD oh wow, that's a big deer. Rest in peace. AMD has a straight up edge. Their GPUs are better than NVIDIA for a lot of the next generation of AI. They're better, and they're more cost efficient, and they're more energy efficient, and they're more they are better compute. They're higher speeds, and then on top of all of that, they literally have the only high end CPU. The NVIDIA ARM Microsoft thing, I'm not worried about that shit. AMD has such a edge on CPUs, and I always knew this because of, crazy to say, guys, but the reason I even started looking at this was because of the X3D series, the gaming processors. I bought the X3D, and I was like, how is this so much better than Intel CPU? Like, how is AMD, this shit company that no one likes, how is this company making CPUs that are literally fucking twice as good as Intel? Like, I'm sorry, but if you guys play Rust or Tarkov, the AMD X3D, like, that CPU, the 7900, the 5800, like, that shit is so much better than Intel. It's not even close because of the 3D cache. And the fact that started my research, honestly, just to, okay, AMD's not playing around. Like, this company, I counted out, the GPUs sucked, all this shit sucked. But, okay, let's take it a step further. What else are they making money from? Okay, they're making no money from gaming. They're making all their money from AI stuff. So imagine if they apply what their edge is in gaming and how much better they are in gaming, and you know, they apply that to the AI, and that team gets involved, and they start to, you know, beat out the competition. No one thought AMD would beat Intel. You know what I mean? No one had an AMD CPU in their computer for the past 15 years. Now everyone does. So who's to say that AMD can't do the same thing to NVIDIA? Who's to say AMD can't go 10x from here? You know what I mean? Maybe NVIDIA goes 3x from here, and AMD's still much smaller than NVIDIA, but, I mean, so, kind of spelling out my thesis, like, that's why I'm not selling calls, because I really think maybe AMD goes back down to 300 in the next 2 weeks, maybe it goes back down to 300 in the next month or two. I don't know where the next $200 is in AMD, but I know where the next $2,000 is, and AMD's not going back to $50 before it goes back up to $1,500, you know what I mean? So enough about AMD. holding everything. I'm not hedging. I'm keeping everything, and it is what it is. I am in full contract on the house, by the way, so congratulations to me. I am in full contract. It's a 3-family house on Long Island. I'm getting it for $500,000, so I'm getting a pretty good fucking price. You guys might not think that sounds crazy, and that's how I know I got a pretty good deal. It's got 2 apartments in it, plus where I'm gonna live with my girlfriend. So, and it's got a half acre. I mean, it's a great deal. I'm really still trying to figure out why I'm getting it for such a good price. I think it needs $100K to fix. That's kind of my process, $100K all in. I need about $50 to fix like the main house with like the 1 apartment and where I'm gonna live. But if I want to fix the other house, it's $50 to fix that one too. So yeah, I mean, shit. W. I mean, there's just nothing else to it. Just W. I'm vibing. I'm really happy. I'm really excited. It's only 7 minutes away from my parents, and about 10, 15 from the rest of my family. So it feels really good to be able to stay where I'm at. None of that is to do with the stock market, really. I love to go on like a really motivational speech about how like the stock market really enabled me to become this and get the house in a really unaffordable area with a single income. And but at the end of the day, it's literally just my income. I mean, thankful for my W-2, man. I'm not selling any shares to buy this house, which that's one of the big benefits of my job. Like, I don't have to sell stock. Actually, I lied. Oh my God, that's a literal deer in the middle of a 4-lane highway interstate, and it was splattered. Someone destroyed it. No, but like AMD, this can be a long video, by the way, boys, so buckle up. I don't want to sell shares to buy a house. You know what I mean? Like, I think this is going to be a great investment, this house I'm buying, because it's going to cash flow. So I've underwritten the deal and all that, and I'm going to be cash flowing probably $1,000 a month. And that's after mortgage, tax, and insurance. My mortgage, tax, insurance probably $3,300 a month. I'll probably get $4,300 to $4,500 a month in rent. So, I mean, another $500 a month for utilities. I mean, I'm gonna be making money in my primary residence. Like, that's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? That's a goal. That's been a goal of mine since I was like 16. Is to buy a house that I could live in for free. And with interest rates at like 7%, it's crazy that that's even an opportunity. So like, very grateful that I found this house, and I'm grateful that I played ball. I didn't fucking play games. I'm paying $45K over asking price. You know what I mean? It's a lot. But I mean, it's worth fixed up $650. So at the very least, I mean, if I put $100 into it, after closing costs and everything, I'm breaking even, which is very rare to say in this market. If I put nothing into it, I'm making money the second I buy it. I probably could make, I mean, it's probably worth a lot more than $650 fixed up fully. I'm probably undervaluing it a little bit, but whatever. I'm not going to sell it. It's probably going to stay with me until I'm dead. I mean, it's got 3 fucking apartments. So, well, it's got 2 apartments, and I'm living in the house. So. But, that being said, yeah, I have not sold anything. I sold my JD and I sold my MP materials to fund my 5% down on contract. And then I might sell the Corvette. Unfortunately, guys, I know. I might sell the supercar. I'm at that point in my life where I think I'm good to sell it, and then I'm going to buy a Z06 in a couple years. Because the more I keep the Stingray, I love the Stingray. It's 95% of the car I want. But the more I keep that car, the longer it's going to take me to get the Z06. And I want that fucking... I want that high-pitched fucking Ferrari noise. I want that noise, dude. I need that noise. I need the Z06. I'm sorry. And I love my car so much. And, I mean, I'm so grateful that I bought it. And I have no regrets. And I'm only losing $7,000 on it, which is insane. It's worth $68,000, and I paid $72,000. I mean, like, that's insane. And it has 7,000 miles on it. Like, that resale value on that car, I got it for 10% under sticker, so that probably helped. But, like, the resale is insane. Like, I'm barely I'm paying, I literally paid, I didn't pay $72,000, I paid $7,000 to buy my dream car and drive it for 2 years. That's literally, what, $300 a month for my dream car, hello, like I would do that trade any day of the week. So no buyer's remorse on that whatsoever. I'm probably going to sell it because otherwise I'd probably have to sell some shares of like stocks I really don't want to sell to fund it. If PayPal gets acquired by Stripe or something crazy in the next month or two, and PayPal goes to like 120 a share, some crazy shit, then like I probably could just keep the Stingray, because I do have some call options on PayPal, but we'll get to that. No, but like, you know, I want to stay invested in the market. You know, I don't think we're in a bubble. The PE ratios are still really low in terms of the growth. And also, I mean, honestly, guys, like 75% of my portfolio is at 52-week lows. Like, AMD has literally carried me. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, bro, all my stocks are destroyed. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ. And that's why making sure you have really concentrated positions in like 5 to 10 stocks is my strategy, because one big winner can offset all the losers. But, you know, that being said, like, yeah, I don't want to sell stock. I'd rather sell the Corvette than sell my stocks. It is what it is, you know. I don't want to keep the monthly payment on the. I was gonna take a loan against the Corvette, but I don't want to take the monthly payment. I mean, I don't know. It just seems stupid. Like, it wouldn't really affect me. I'd probably get like, I could probably take out the cash in the car and make like $1,500 a month payments. But I don't really know if I really want to do that. You know, I love debt and I love fucking with the debt system, but I was thinking if I get like a really low interest rate on that, like a car cash out, there's like companies that offer like fucking refis on your car, but I have no loan on it, so like I could just take out the whole thing. It would be crazy strategy, honestly. But I think I'm good. I think I'm parting ways. I think I'm okay parting ways with it for now. As long as I'm gonna replace it in a couple years. I'm gonna get a Z06, and I'm gonna be very proud of myself, because I'm only gonna have got that Z06 because I got rid of the Stingray when I did. You know, if I keep the Stingray, I'll get a Z06 at 40, but I'd rather get rid of the Stingray and get a Z06 in my early 30s. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyways, on to the next thing. Elf. Boys, Elf Beauty. This video, by the way, might cut out at some point because my iPhone's like low on storage, but it's alright. So Elf Beauty, man. Oh my lord, Elf Beauty. I bought a fat position in Elf Beauty. So I almost bought an AMD size. It's very close to an AMD size position back when the Trump tariffs. I bought way more AMD because I have my retirement account and my other trading account. I have 3 portfolios. So I have a trading account, I have this account that you guys see in my Discord, and then I have my retirement Roth IRA. I do have my 401k as well, but there's only like 30, 40 grand in there at work. I take my company match. I've been taking that match for like 5 years, and there's like 30, 40 grand in there. Actually, like 2 years. But yeah, whatever. It's free money. I'll take the match, but I'm never putting a dime more into my 401k. That shit's a scam. Fuck the 401k. If you have a company match, I would definitely take it. Otherwise, I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, so. But Elf Beauty, man. SWOT analysis again. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, threats, right? I mean, they have a really strong brand. They're really inexpensive makeup products compared to the competitors, and it's really high quality. If you have a woman in your life, a little cheat code, ask her. If you don't know much about makeup, ask her. Does she use Elf? What does she think about Elf? You know? There's a lot of tools out there to check sentiment on social media. It scans comments, it scans TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It scans that stuff for sentiment on certain stocks and you know, stuff like that. And you can do Google Trends. You can look at trends of Elf. You can look at compared to competitors. But yeah, I mean, I am so bullish on Elf, man. The brand is so strong. They've been getting acquisitions. They've not been playing games. They're becoming a giant in the makeup space, man. And I think in the next 5 to 10 years, they're going to be a giant. They're not like a fat, bloated dinosaur company. Like, Estee Lauder worries me because, I mean, I bought it at 55 and I sold it at 110. I doubled my money. You guys know about that stock, but I did get out of it around 100. And I decided that Elf was going to be my makeup play because Estee Lauder is such an old company, and like, I don't know if you guys have you ever worked in an old company, but so much red tape, so much bureaucracy, so many people that are 50, 60, 70 years old in management. They don't understand the internet, the social media world. They're not quick to do anything, and it's kind of like why I think Tesla overtook all the legacy automakers with like electric cars, and how all the legacy automakers now don't make electric cars anymore because they can't make them profitably, so now it's just Tesla. But like, there's just such an edge to being like a nimble, small, like hungry company that Elf has that edge over every other makeup brand, and they're trading at such a low multiple. Like, they were down to like $8 billion at one time, and they're making $2 billion in revenue a year. That's 4 times revenue. That's like ridiculous, and they're growing at double-digit clip. Like, so it's not like, okay, a company that doesn't grow fast, they don't get a big revenue multiple, but this company's growing fast, it's young, it's a low market cap, and their balance sheet is good. They have cash on the balance sheet. They have billions of dollars in cash. Like, it's the same theory as Honest. Like, Honest went down to like a $250 million market cap, and they have $90 million in cash. I'm buying a company for effectively $150 million because you just like, I'm paying $250 million market cap, but they have almost half their market cap in cash. So it's like you minus that, so it's like $150 million market cap, and they're doing, you know, $75 million a year in revenue. I'm paying less than twice like. There's some times where it gets so ridiculously inexpensive to buy like a consumer product that you just have to take the jump. Worst case, like, even if Elf like craters and Honest craters, like, these two stocks are in the same category. Like, they have so much cash and the market cap is so low already that, like, I'm not worried about it. It's not like they're overvalued. They're on a run. Like, Elf's been on a run. Honest has been on this crazy run. Like, there's not a crash risk in these stocks, in my opinion. Like, if the S&P goes down 30-40%, these stocks are going to go down 10-20%. They're not going to crash. You know, it's not going to be a big thing. Maybe Elf goes to 45. Like, okay, big fucking deal. But, like, AMD could go to, like, 200, right? Like, that's the type of stock Elf is. Like, it's way less downside risk, but, I mean, I'd argue the upside in Elf is arguably better than AMD right now. If you're buying AMD at 515 versus Elf at 55, I would argue Elf has more upside potential over the next 5 to 10 years, which is crazy. Because Elf is at its 52-week low. Elf is, like, destroyed. That stock is, like, in the shitter. So I think the potential is much higher for right now. Maybe in the next 20, 30 years, AMD is much bigger, but I think in the next 5 years, you know, I think Elf is going to have a better performance. So yeah, I have a huge position in Elf. Huge. I think I'm a little down on it right now at Elf at 55. I think I'm a little down. I think my average cost is like 57. Because you gotta remember, I was buying it in the tariff craziness too. So, and Honest as well. I mean, I'm holding that shit forever. Honest is so undervalued, but it's so speculative. So, I only have like 2,500 shares of Honest. Really tiny position. It's like $8,000 of the portfolio, something like that. But Honest is an easy 10 bagger, I think, over the next 5 years. So, I mean, if I could spend 8 to make 80, I'll do that trade all day. Now, again, I don't know for sure, so I only have $8,000 into it. If I knew for sure, I'd put my whole portfolio into it, but I don't. Because, again, there is risks to Honest. I didn't get into that. I mean, I could do a deep dive on each company with a SWOT analysis. That might be pretty productive. Go through each one of my portfolio holdings and do a SWOT. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, okay, so Elf, you know, that's it, holding it. Celsius, kind of the same as Elf. Super undervalued, super high revenue growth. Really only risk with Celsius is the Kirkland brand. But, I mean, Coca-Cola is a huge company. Monster's a huge company. Like, they knock off brands all the time. Like, there's store brands for everything. Walmart, Great Value. Like, there's that's not a new thing, right? Like, those have been things that have been around for 10, 20, 30 years. There's still people buying Oreos, still people buying Doritos. Like, the brand name has value, and, like, you know, it is what it is. Like, that's just the reality. So I guess my whole point here is, you know, make sure that you don't get too scared about these little headlines about store brands, because, like, guys, they've been around. And, like, Monster, look at Monster stock over the past 20 years. Best performing stock in the whole world. Like, crazy. Monster stock's literally I think the highest returning stock in the history of the stock market. And so, yeah, I mean, Celsius is a little baby valuation at this point, little baby company. And, I mean, I have no issues with it at all. I think it's a great company, and I think it's going way higher over the next 5 to 10 years. I have to check my maps. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Yeah, I mean, Celsius is a monster. It's a monster, and I think I'm super safe in that stock. Again, downside, what, 20 bucks? go down 30% from here. Okay, big deal. I'm really not worried about down anything unless the
roadwork reported ahead on I-5 North in half a mile. You're still on the fastest route.
I'm not worried about anything unless the stock's SWOT analysis changes, right? Is there a new threat? Is there one less strength? Is there a new weakness? Is there less opportunity, right? Like anything related to that SWOT analysis, I'll get nervous and I can sell because of that. Nervous is the wrong word, but I'll get adaptable, right? I'll get nimble and I'll make a change. But again, it is what it is. I think so I'm happy in Celsius. MP Materials and JD. So I sold them because they were my lowest conviction longs in the portfolio. So I mean, I'm really not hating the companies, but JD, I undershot the amount of competition that those Chinese companies have in China. The economy over there is not doing great, but also like JD has like 7 competitors, and like they're all like operating on like lower and lower margins over time. Like, so the stock is dirt cheap, but I did undershoot the risks of Chinese competition and how they don't fuck around in China with their competition. But I love this stock, and I think it has a great opportunity to 5x. Like, I mean, I really do, because if they win this race, like, they're going to be a huge, like, compounding machine over the next 5 years, and they pay a nice dividend. So, I mean, it hurt me to sell them, but, I mean, I'd rather sell them than Elf or Nike or PayPal or AMD, like, so it is what it is. And it's a Chinese stock, so there's a whole risk there, too, with Taiwan. But the other one was MP. So, I mean, I made some money on it. I mean, I made 20% of my money in 6 months. It's not great, but it's not bad. 20% in 6 months is awesome. I'm so jaded because of this fucking bull market we're in. Jesus Christ. And again, I sold that because, again, they're not going to make any real revenue until end of 2027 from the new magnetic plant in America, to kind of wean off Chinese rare earth magnets and high density magnets and like super advanced magnets. We're not really going to be able to wean off China until like the middle to end of 27. So like this stock has time. I think I'm going to have an opportunity to buy it back in 6 months to a year. But I sold that because I need a cash for a house and a little bit of funds. I have funds set aside, but I need to take a little bit out for the house. So I took about 26 grand out for the house. I don't think I'll need to take anything else out. If I do, I do. It is what it is. I mean, I'm happy to if the house is going to cash flow me, because that's beast. I mean, I'm buying a primary residence and it's going to make me money every month on top of the appreciation if it happens. It's fucking beast. It is what it is. I had to sell them. I had to make a decision. And again, it wasn't based on emotion. It wasn't based on I have to sell. It was based on analyzing my whole portfolio. What are my weakest links, and where can I get this money? And those are my weakest links. So that's where I took it. So to move on to the next stuff. So I do have like a core basket of Mag 7 still. I mean, I've been buying Mag 7 since 2019. I've been buying Meta. Google, I have such a good average price on Google, $100 a share. I mean, Google is just a monster compounder. Meta's been dead money for a year or two. It is what it is. My average price is like $250. Google, my average price is $100. I'm up a lot. I'm not selling any Google. I'm not selling any Meta, that's for sure. Meta's priced in for fucking bankruptcy at this point. Microsoft, I mean, my average price of Microsoft is like $320, so it's not that much higher than it is. Microsoft's been pretty beaten down. And I was buying Microsoft back in 2020, 2021, and my average price is like in the low threes, which is crazy. So Microsoft's really done pretty bad over the past 2 or 3 years. Amazon as well. My Amazon average price, though, is like only $190. I didn't buy Amazon that much. Big regret of mine. I think Amazon was so obvious. But it's okay. I really hope I get another opportunity to buy Amazon in the low twos. But I don't know if I will. I mean, that stock's a monster. I only have like 50 shares of Amazon, man. I don't have much. It's not enough, that's for sure. It's like 10 or 15 grand in my retirement too. I have nothing in my trading account for Amazon, so but it's alright. And then Tesla, of course. I mean, I have a monster Tesla position. Monster. but I bought it so long ago. It's grown into such a big position, and I have no plans on selling that stock. I mean, yeah, it's super overvalued, but I mean, it's an Elon stock. It has a premium. SpaceX IPO. I mean, I think Tesla and SpaceX are going to merge. And I think SpaceX and Tesla over the next 10 years is going to be the most valuable company on the earth, on the planet. And it's not going to be because of fundamentals. It's going to be because of Elon hype and Mars base and moon base and space data centers. And Elon's going to be doing hype. So another reason why I'm not selling MRAM at all. I'm keeping that stock. I'm keeping that stock until the first space data center is put together, then I'll sell it, because MRAM is going to be absolutely just mooning. If MRAM is the stock, if they need to, it's so speculative, but like if everything goes right, MRAM's going to be 100,000x bagger. Like that stock will make millionaires from where it is right now. I'm sorry. I'm not a financial advisor, but if everything goes right, if MRAM becomes the RAM of choice for space data centers over the next 10, 20 years, that stock will 1000x. That stock will make millionaires. But that's like a 10% chance, okay? There's so many other, like Micron might make a RAM that doesn't need shielding in space, and they could do this and that, or maybe they don't use RAM providers anymore. Maybe AMD maybe these companies don't need RAM. Maybe there's a breakthrough, right? There's so many things that could go wrong, and I might look back and say, damn, I should have took 500% on MRAM. But worst case is MRAM goes up 5 million%, and I sell it here, and I look back and I'm like, wow, I had generational wealth and I sold it. So I'd rather lose my 500% winner than lose out on this. And again, it's a small position, MRAM. It's a small position in the portfolio. It's not a big position. So I'm okay with, burning $3,000 of my original position, but I could turn that 3 into 3 million. I've done the analysis. I've done such a deep dive on MRAM, and I'm like so certain of it, but I'm not certain enough to like put my whole portfolio in it. But like, man, it's just, I've looked at the science, I've looked at the math, I've looked at everything on like the space data center, like how they're going to be built, and like how like the cooling is going to be an issue, and how magnetic RAM doesn't really need cooling, and there's just so much to it. So again, there's a new breakthrough that's possible, but I mean, I've done everything I could to like hedge myself, and like I've done all the data analysis I could, and I mean, I'm holding that motherfucker. I don't care if it goes back down to $1. I will hold it. And I mean, obviously, if it goes back to $1 and it's because Micron made a RAM that MRAM doesn't have a patent for, which, by the way, MRAM has like thousands of patents for like RAM-related things. So even if they don't win it, they might get licensing on that RAM that gets up in space. So keep that in mind. But, there's just so much opportunity with MRAM, so much potential upside, so much risk. That stock easily goes to zero in 24 hours if a news comes out. Like, that's an absolute piss coin of a stock, right? It's so speculative, such a tiny market cap. It can go up 1,000x, or it could go down to $1 within 2 days in a blink of an eye. So that's the kind of money you have to put into that stock, right? If you have $1,000 in there and you would have a pit in your stomach if you lost $1,000, then you have way too much money in that stock, because that shit can go down to zero in a day. So anyways, but like AMD can't go to zero in a day, right? Like S&P is not going to go to, so like you have to gauge your position size on the risk, on your risk tolerance. But anyways, I digress. On to the next thing. So, I have like that basket of like beaten down dog consumer names, PayPal, Nike. At this point, PayPal and Nike, man, I mean, I think we've seen the worst. I really do. I think we've seen the worst in those stocks. I think those stocks are in for brighter days. I really, really do, man. They're so beaten down. The worst is priced in. They're pricing in absolute apocalypse growth rates. If Nike or PayPal even have a blip of growth next quarter, I mean, the stocks are going to gap up to 10-15%. I don't know. A lot of partnerships with Nike and PayPal with AI. Nike with Gemini. PayPal did a partnership with Anthropic, I think. One of the AIs. But, I still think Stripe is going to do something with PayPal. I think there's something there. I mean, that HP person, the Hewlett-Packard CEO stepping in and taking place of the old CEO is so weird to me. They replaced like a 35-year-old, super young, energetic, like knowledgeable CEO that understood like the new era of the world with AI, with blockchain, with social media, and like he was very in the know. And they replaced him for a 60-year-old Hewlett-Packard executive. that has a very extensive experience of like acquisitions. So I don't know, man. I think there's still something there with PayPal. I really think there's something there with PayPal still. I think there's definitely some sort of opportunity with PayPal with that, in my opinion. But if not, I still think PayPal is a monster over the next 3 to 5 years. I mean, maybe in the next 10 to 20 years they're replaced by AI. I don't fucking know. No one knows. But I mean, their balance sheet is monstrous. They're buying back shares like crazy. They pay a little divvy, just like Nike, right? All the stuff I'm saying about PayPal, I can think it's also apply to Nike. Monster balance sheet, income statement's fine. I mean, you know, the stocks are at 52-week lows. Like, they're not in bubble territory at all. If these get a leg up, you know what I mean? If this market gets a leg up, man, this thing just disappeared my face. If this market gets going with the consumer discretionary, with like the Nikes, the PayPals, I mean, this market is getting going and we're going, you know, we're going to be going. So I want you to keep that in mind. It's like, you know, there's certain baskets that are really speculative, really volatile, but then you have like the Nikes, the PayPals, you know, where they've already been beaten down so much. Like, imagine people that bought Nike at 200, PayPal at fucking whatever it was, 200. Like these stocks are down 75% from their highs. These stocks are in full bear market, full crash territories, like 2008 Grand Financial Crisis crash levels. Like, these are peak disaster situations. They're trading at worse valuations than 2008 by a long shot. Like, Nike stock is at 2008 levels, but the revenue is 15, 20x higher than it was in 2008. Like, you realize the difference? I think about Whirlpool too. Like, Whirlpool's trading below 2008. Like, Whirlpool's pricing in worse than 2008 housing market. Like, worst housing market in history of the company. That's what Whirlpool stock's pricing in. That's another stock I'm looking at. I bought it and then sold it pretty quickly because I needed the cash. But, like, thank God, by the way, because Whirlpool stock went down like 25% one day after the CEO said that the housing market's never going, it sucks, and blah, blah, blah. But, like, there's certain stocks, I mean, yeah, they could always go lower, man, but, like, I'm not buying them emotionally. Like, Nike brand, I believe in the Nike brand. I believe over the next 10, 20, 30 years, like, the Nike brand's a halo. I mean, you can't replace the brand. AI might make the shirts and the shoes, and AI might, you know, to run the business, but the brand itself is going to be where the value is. The Nike brand is not going anywhere. I love the Nike brand. Just do it, motherfucker. Just do it. I love that brand. Nike, just do it, okay? I'm not sponsored, but it's fire, okay? The check mark's cool, whatever, but the just do it, man. Like, that's so fire. Like, don't overthink it. Just do it. Like, just do it. Go to the casino. All in on black. Just do it, okay? It's just a fire, like, slogan. And the brand's strong, and I love it. And again, kind of like AMD, Nike doesn't make anything themselves. They ship out a design to fucking Vietnam, and they make the design, and then they ship it back, and Nike gets the profit. So, you know, tariffs go away, the geopoliticals kind of cool down, right? The regular consumer maybe gets a little healthier with lower interest rates over the next year or two. Nike's going to be up for a leg up. Same with PayPal. So, yeah, I mean, again, I'd only sell if, like, Nike started burning cash and the balance sheet started looking really bad, and, like, the net income, the net revenue growth started shrinking by, like, 10, 20% a quarter. Like, then I'd start to be, like, worried. But, I mean, when you're talking, like, Nike and PayPal are maintaining or growing single digit, I'm not worried about these stocks at all. At all. But again, if they start to show revenue declines pretty significantly overall, then yeah, I'll start to be concerned. I'll dig into the balance sheet, the income statement, I'll see what's going on. Maybe I'll make an adjustment, but yeah, otherwise I'm good on those. Speculative bucket, again, you know, MRAM, Fubo. I made so much money on Fubo in the Disney deal. I sold 60% of my shares at like $5.50, so I made 500% in like 2 weeks. I still have shares. They're down a little. I don't really care about Fubo, to be honest. I mean, I think over the next, you know, couple years, I don't know. I'm not so sure anymore, honestly. I made a ton of money on the stock already, so I'm okay with losing what's in there. I mean, the stock itself, I mean, I still think it has room to go up. You know, the Disney deal is just getting started. You know, who knows? So super speculative. I mean, super tiny position. So it is what it is. But yeah. Outside of that, I mean, what do I got? I got index funds that I kind of want to sell. I don't like SpaceX at IPO. I do like it 6 months after IPO, though. So when you buy an IPO is after IPO. But the fact that everyone's talking about that on social media makes me wonder if this IPO is going to be like pile in and it goes to 10 trillion market cap. You know, I don't know. But there's never been an IPO in history that like you buy it and like you're good after like a month. Like IPOs always go down. Like people sell into this liquidity. Gotta think about all the millionaires at SpaceX that this IPO is creating, and they finally having a liquidity event. All the engineers, all the fucking people at the company can sell into the public. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of selling pressure, man. Like these people made generational wealth, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they've never been able to access it. You know, so I think you're gonna see a lot of selling pressure when the lockup ends. I think the IPO might go up in the first week or two, but once that lockout, that's going to be rough, I think, for a lot of people with people that bought it. I think the IPO is going to have a rough 3 to 6 months. But I'm a buyer of SpaceX eventually. Fun fact, this original reason why I bought Google. Back at $100 a share at Google, I bought Google because I bought like 100 shares. I bought a lot of Google. I have a lot of money in Google. I bought a lot of Google because of they owned like 16% of SpaceX or some shit. I was like, okay, so I can buy 16% of SpaceX, YouTube, and Google search for $100, which was like dirt cheap at the time. And I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, I'm going in on this. You kidding me? And I did, and it paid off big time, let me tell you. But I was wanting to buy SpaceX stock for the longest time. I mean, I was always looking at ways to buy it when it was private. Such a bummer. I mean, I knew, like back when SpaceX was such a little company, like Tesla IPO'd and it went up and it went down. Like I should have bought Tesla back in 2016, back in 2013 even, when I was in college. Like, but I was so fixated on SpaceX back then, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to buy Tesla because I think SpaceX is going to be the winner, but it turned out they both were winners. So it's all right. But I wish SpaceX was public back then because, man, I would have went crazy. I would have been a fucking $100 million. But it's okay. So yeah, I mean, that's a fucking full portfolio breakdown, an hour-long like yap session on like everything to do with my portfolio. So if you guys needed some content or something, well, I hope this was it. I'm bored as hell on this drive. I'm almost there though. I think I'm about an hour away, so made the drive a little bit more bearable. Able to talk to you guys. But again, if you guys want roles in the Discord, man, I have a Patreon. It's $5 a month, but like, if you don't want to support me, that's fine. Just fucking DM me. I'll give you roles. You know, it's all good. I started the channel out to be like a thing, like you pay money to get into it, but I don't care. Just fucking, if you want to support me, it's $5 a month. If not, just DM me. I'll give you roles. I like to have people in there. I think everyone talking together, it makes us all better, and I think we can all bounce ideas off each other. You know, I mean, Blur, if you're listening, like you had a great idea at Hims. Hims was like $16 a share. You thought about buying it. I thought about buying it too. I wanted it a little lower, but now it went up to 25. So you were talking about peptides and stuff, and I think you were right. I think Amazon will win the peptide game, but I think that doesn't mean Hims can not have a good stock like AMD, right? I think Nvidia is going to win the AI stuff, but that doesn't mean AMD is not going to have a monster stock and AMD outperform, right? So maybe Hims actually outperforms Amazon, even though Amazon's probably going to win this whole peptide thing. So, like, something I should be a bit more open-minded about is other people's opinions in there. But there's a lot of good ideas in there. So, yeah, I post my plays in there, you know, just for my own journaling reasons. Some people like to copy me, which is kind of weird. You want to copy me and be a writer, that's fine. But I'm not posting them in there as call-outs or anything like that. I'm not a financial advisor, all right? Do what you want with your money. Everything I say is not a buy or sell alert. And yeah, that's it, boys. So if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll talk to you guys later. Wish me luck in Seattle for work, and then I'll be back in New York. I'm leaving tomorrow at 7 a.m. I'll be back home probably in my room at like 6 p.m. Eastern. So See ya.